Hey, everybody. Welcome to the four-part series, that four-part YouTube series that I'm doing on grief. What is grief asking of you? Oh, sorry. Hold on. What is grief asking of you? It's a question that we're always trying to figure out the answer to. And maybe you haven't been trying to figure out the answer to this. Maybe you're just going with the flow of how you feel every day. Maybe every day you just feel a certain way and you show up, and that's the way you go into your grief. If that's you, more power to you. But let me help you with that. Let me help you with this part of grief. What grief is really demanding of you, what it is really asking of you. This is some of the questions that I think we don't really get into. We don't really get into what grief is really about. We don't truly understand that we already know how to grieve most of the time. We already know what we're supposed to be doing, but we're doing all these other things. So let's pull it back in. Let's narrow it down just for a second. What do you think grief is asking? Most people think grief is asking just a few things. Number one, to be strong. Oh, my grief is asking me to be strong. I need to be strong for others. I need to be strong for the other people that are around me. I need to be strong for my family. I need to be strong for my husband. I need to be strong for my kids. The second thing it's asking me is to move on. Just move on. You got this, girl. Just move on. You can do this. Grief is also asking me to stay busy. Is it grief asking you that, or are you asking it of yourself? If I stay busy, then I can stay just in front of this pain. Grief is telling me to stay busy and stay just in front of this pain. Don't talk about it. Don't say their name. Don't talk about it at all. If you don't talk about it, then people won't be able to get you upset because you're not talking about it. Grief is also asking me to hold it all together. Hold it together, girl. Is grief asking that, or are you asking that? That's a really great question. It's a really great question, because I know for a fact, I really thought that grief was telling me to be strong. And because I thought grief was telling me to be strong, that's what I was doing in my life. I was being strong. It's also telling you, don't fall apart. Don't fall apart in front of anyone. Don't let them see you fall apart. Be strong, move on, stay busy, don't talk about it. These are the instructions that the average person thinks grief is telling them. Because it also has told you, you will be like this forever. You will be like this forever, for the rest of your life. For the rest of your life, you will be like this. And if you buy into this, you will be like this for the rest of your life, then you're going to believe these things. You're going to believe the things. You're going to believe the be strong. You're going to believe all of the things that grief has set up for you. All right. Okay, here we go. These instructions are not from grief. Grief doesn't have a thought like this. This is a lie. This is a lie you've been telling yourself, and this is a lie that you've been hearing other people tell you. This is a lie of how you saw other people grieving. These instructions right here come from discomfort. All of this comes from discomfort. All of this is coming from discomfort. Usually other people's discomfort in the room. You either saw your parents act like this, or people are giving you this advice. Grief does not tell you to hurry up. It does not tell you to pretend you're fine. It does not say, handle this quietly so everyone can feel comfortable. When you follow these rules, you start resisting. You start resisting the grief. You start pushing back against the grief. What your body and your heart are doing and what it knows to do about grief comes naturally. It comes naturally because when I tell you, you came here with this ability to grieve, you knew how to grieve, you knew how to do this thing, you knew. But over time, we forget that we know. And so we start resisting. We start resisting when suffering starts because it's not just pain. We start calling suffering. Hear me out. Grief pain is unavoidable for every single person in this world. Every single person in this world is going to have grieving experiences, multiple grieving experiences. Suffering comes from fighting the pain. When you start pushing back against the grief pain. Look, grief is painful. Grief hurts. That's the truth. Grief hurts. There's nothing that I can do to take that from you. Grief hurts. Suffering comes when you start pushing back against the pain. When grief is ignored, it doesn't disappear, it leaks. When grief is ignored, it leaks. And here's the truth. It starts to leak in every aspect of your life. It doesn't just leak into your heart. It starts to leak in every aspect of your life. All right, hold on 1 second. Let me get this for you. Let me clean this up so we can talk about it. It starts to leak in every aspect of your life. All right, my daughter's over there printing something. I had to give it to her. It leaks in your sleep. Into every aspect of your life. Your sleep. Your eating. Your joy. Your body. You feel it all over your body. Grief leaks into every aspect of your life. Your body. Your anxiety. Your anxiety, your relationships. All the relationships you're having, your relationship with your husband, your relationship with your children. It starts to go into all of these areas. And all of this leaking into every aspect of your life, your sleep, your eating, your joy, your body, your drinking, the way everything is going, as it's leaking in, it's causing exhaustion. It's causing exhaustion. And there is no amount of rest that's going to fix this. Because what happens with you is that as this is starting to leak in, and as you're starting to feel it in every area of your life, you start to feel overly tired. It's the tired, the body tired, that no amount of sleep is going to heal. This is your grief talking to you. This is your grief telling you, hey girl, I'm here, and this hurts. And you start taking the other message like, okay, well, it's here. I need to be strong. I need to be strong for my family. I need to do all the things. The resistance of grief creates suffering. When you resist the grief pain, what you're actually creating is suffering. And when you ignore the grief, it leaks into all these aspects and areas of your life. Let's talk more about what grief is actually asking of you. Let's talk more about what it is asking of you, because a lot of us think it's asking all these other things, and we go to try to fix the other things. There's so many times where I see grievers, and they're not actually going after their heart. They're not actually doing the thing that needs to be done that has to go with their heart. Friends, most times when I'm writing anything about grief, I'm writing it at about an 8th grade level. I'm keeping it as simple as possible. Why? Because the grieving brain cannot take in medulla oblongata. It cannot take in the big words. It cannot take in the complicated concepts. That's not what we're trying to do here. What we're trying to do here is give you the information. So most times I'm writing it at about the 8th grade level. Grief is not complicated. Wow. What is she saying? It's demanding. It absolutely is demanding, but it is not complicated. Grief is asking you for 4 main things. And that's what we're going to go over this month. We're going to go over all of them this entire month. The first thing grief is asking you for is attention. Your grief is asking you for attention. It is asking you to pay attention to what's going on. I think y'all can see that. I think that marker's going out. Your grief is asking you for attention. Not all day, not constantly, not 24 hours a day, even though it feels like that in the beginning, but it is asking you for real attention. It is asking you for real attention. Some of the stuff we're doing in the 24 hours a day is not real attention. Because when we ignore it, it gets louder and it starts to scream. And once it starts to scream, it starts to feel unbearable. And a lot of us feel like, oh my gosh, what have I done? This can't be right. This can't be real. How is this like this? So it's asking you for real attention to the grief. All right. Grief gets louder when it's ignored because it's trying to be heard. Grief demands that it be heard. It also demands that you tend to it. I'm looking for another marker in here. It also demands that you attend to it. Grief gets louder when it's ignored because it's trying to be heard. The second thing that grief is asking of you is time. Grief is asking of you for time. Not endless time. Intentional time. Not endless time, intentional time. Grief has no place to go, but it goes everywhere. Grief has no place to go, but it goes everywhere. And no matter where you go, there you are. And if you bring that broken heart with you, it is going to show up there. It is going to show up there. So number 1, it is asking for attention. Number 2 is asking for time. And number 3, this is so important. It is asking for the truth. The truth of how you feel. The truth of what happened to you. The truth of your relationship with your person. Not the polite truth, not the cleaned up version, the real truth. The real truth of what has happened to you. What hurts? What is unfair? What do you miss? What did you never get a chance to say? What are you angry about? What are you angry about? Grief responds with honesty. It reacts when you're pretending. Every time you start pretending, the grief starts acting up. And the 4th thing that grief is requiring of you is safety. Your body, heart, and soul has to know that it is safe to allow the grief. The 4th thing it is asking of you is safety. A place where the grief can be allowed. A place where it doesn't need to be fixed. A place where people are coming in to fix you. A place where no one rushes or minimizes it. When grief feels safe in your heart, it will settle and it will allow you to work on it. But until then, it looks like this. And for most of you, by the time you get here, this is what you're bringing me. This is the heart you're bringing me. When the grief feels safe, it will start to settle. Grief is asking for attention. It's asking for time. It's asking for you to tell the truth. And it is asking for safety. And that is 100% correct. All right. Why does grief feel so demanding? If it's only asking for these 4 things, why does it feel like it's demanding everything from me? Why does my life feel like it's going absolutely crazy? If all it wants is my attention and some time, I can do that. Because your heart is broken. Your heart is reliving every aspect of your life with your person. Your heart is looking at every aspect of your life with your person. This is where I want you to stop judging yourself. This is the part where I want you to stop judging yourself. Grief is an emotional experience that takes place in your heart. It is not an intellectual experience that takes place in your brain. Grief is going to take emotional labor for you to walk through it. Emotional labor uses the same energy as physical stress. It's in the same energy system as physical stress. Your brain is going to recalibrate after the loss. Your brain is going to recalibrate after the loss. Your brain is going to rethink this. Rethink who you are. What does life mean? Who am I now? And all of the other questions that go along with that. Your brain's going to recalibrate. Your nervous system is starting to adjust to the new reality. Your nervous system is going to adjust to the new reality. This is why you're tired. This is why you feel like you can't rest. This is why your brain feels foggy. It's looking at the grief, the pain, and all of these questions. This is why small things feel overwhelming. This is why when she asks you if you can bring butter to the family picnic, you're like, what? What? No, I can't bring butter. This does not mean that grief will control your life. It doesn't mean it will control your life forever, but there will be parts where you will feel controlled by the grief. Grief needs cooperation before it can soften. Number one, you need to understand what's going on intellectually. You need to also understand what's going on emotionally. How are the two working against each other? How are they working together? What part is the nervous system playing in this? Your grief is not trying to take over your life. I promise you that. It is trying to help you process this pain that is in your heart. But the brain, the nervous system, the heart in the beginning are working all against each other. And that hurts. So, grief is emotional labor. You're going to have to do the emotional part in your heart in order to get that done. Grief will cause exhaustion. Grief will cause exhaustion all over your body, and that's coming from your nervous system and from your brain. And that, my friends, is not weakness. It's not weakness. It's exhaustion. And then you're constantly thinking, am I doing this right? Am I doing this right? Am I supposed to be doing it this way? Cooperation will soften the grief. You got to go with it. Go with it. Cooperate. Go with it. Understand that one day you're going to be all in your brain. The next day you're going to be all in your heart. And the next day you're not going to be able to sleep at all because all three of these are working. And they're working against you. And it is painful. But it is the difference between suffering in your grief and allowing the grief. Okay. I want to slow things down for a minute. Everything we've talked about today makes sense. I know when you hear it. I know it makes sense. But knowing what grief is and actually giving it to the parts that needs the attention are two different experiences. So let me tell you something honestly. If grief is asking for your attention, where is that attention coming from right now? Where's that attention coming from right now? Most people are trying to grieve in their head. They're trying to grieve alone. They're trying to grieve between other responsibilities that they have to do. They're trying to grieve while the world keeps going. Where are you grieving? What are you doing? What is grieving? What does grieving look like? What does it really look like? And are you able to do it in between other responsibilities you have? Does it feel like you're always grieving every day, all day? Does it feel like you never understand what the attention is? If grief is asking for time, when do you schedule the time? Not when everything else is done. Not when you collapse into bed at night. Real time belongs to your grief, giving it real time. If grief is asking the truth, if it's asking for attention, if it's asking for time, and it's asking to tell the truth, through what filter does this truth come? Is it the real one? Is it the honest one? Is it the truth about him? Is it the truth about me? Is it the truth about them? And if grief is asking for safety, where does that safety come from? What holds that safety? Who is holding that space for you without fixing it? Who is rushing you? Is it you or is it everyone around you? Are you minimizing your own feelings because of everyone that you're around? I know these are all abstract questions. I know that they are, but I'm trying to get you to think. Do you know the answers to these questions? Do you know the part that the brain is playing havoc on this grief? Did you know that the nervous system was a part of this grief? These are the exact places where people get stuck, learning how to grieve. Where is your grief getting what it needs? Where are you getting that from? Where are you getting the understanding of what your grief needs? Let me ask you this. If nothing were to change in you, if nothing were to change in the way you're handling the grief right now, where will you be in 6 months? Will you still be tired? Will you still be carrying it? Will you still be functioning, but not at peace? It's a great question. What is this grief costing you right now? Friends, you got to know the answers to these questions because this is part of what's going to give you the relief. Your brain is trying to recalibrate. It's trying to rethink who you are. What does it mean? Who am I now? While your nervous system and your emotional system are playing havoc on you. But what is this costing you right now in your life? Have you lost your job? Are you unable to figure things out? Do you look around and feel like everyone has left you? Do you feel all alone in your grief? Do you feel like you want to talk about it, but there's not really a lot of people that want to listen? That's huge. Hear me out. Grievers need to talk, and they need to talk a lot, and they need to talk about what's happened to them. But they also need someone to listen. They need to feel heard and listened to with respect. And when you don't have that, what is it costing you? Is it your energy? Is your sleep jacked up right now? How's your relationships? How's your relationships with the other people in the family? How are you at feeling present in the present moment? Are you able to enjoy? Are you able to talk to other people? This is all areas where you're going to be figuring out what your nervous system and brain and heart are doing to you. What part are you at in your grief? And here's the question that most people avoid. What would change if you had a place to process all of this? What would change if you understood grief instead of just surviving it? It's huge. It's huge. This is exactly why I created Processing the Pain of Grief. I'm going to tell you why I created Processing the Pain of Grief. After having to tell my sister for the second time that she had lost a child, that she had lost Donovan. Donovan had died in a motorcycle accident 2 weeks before his 21st birthday. And 10 years prior to that, I had also told her that Austin had drowned at the lake. One of the things that I realized after Donovan died was that Erica showed up so different. Here's me, the big sister, not just a big head, the big sister, totally grieving. And I'm looking at my sister and I see her as different. One of the things, she's not talking to me. She used to always talk to me about everything. She's not telling me things. She's starting to go inside herself. She's not telling me the things that needs to be done. I'm trying to figure out what's going on with her, and she's not telling me. She showed up totally different. And that showing up totally different sent me back to the playing board. It sent me back to figure things out. One of the things I figured out about her was that her nervous system showed up differently. Her nervous system showed up completely different. She wasn't talking about it. She wasn't given attention to her grief. She wasn't allowing time for her grief. She was mad as hell. She was absolutely lying to me. She wasn't telling the truth. And her body was looking for safety. And I'm going to tell you the mistake that I made. I made the mistake of thinking we were going to show up just like we did with Austin. Austin drowned at the lake. And I walked her through it. And I thought, we're going to do this just like we did Austin. And she was like, oh, hell no, we're not. We're not doing it. She showed up different. It took longer. She was angry. She was mad. She was sad. She was completely broken. She was all of these things, all coming from her heart. But she was not talking, and she was not telling the truth. After the much needed grief work was done, after I did the much needed grief work with her, I went back to the drawing board. I was like, I got to figure this out. And so I went back to the drawing board to figure out, why did she show up different this time? Why did she show up different this time as opposed to Austin? And one of the things that I figured out was that we do one of four things when we're grieving. I already knew some of them, but I took this actually much deeper. So we do one of four things. We resist. That's this. That's resisting. We resist the grief. We resist the grief. We react to the grief. And when we react to the grief, it comes out as yelling, screaming, pushing back. Resisting is not talking about it, not telling the truth, not talking about it is resisting. We react to the grief. We sit on the couch for 1 year and we cry. We don't move. We absolutely just react to the grief. It seems like it makes sense that we're going to react to the grief. We are. We all react to our grief. But here's the deal, my friends. Reacting to the grief can be way beyond the window of what reacting time is actually in there. And we talk about that a lot in processing the pain of grief. So we resist the grief. We react to the grief. We pretend that we don't have grief. We pretend for everybody around us. She was not telling me the truth. She was 100% pretending. This is the part that I didn't have yet. This is the part I got after Donovan. We pretend that we don't have grief, and we avoid. We avoid our grief. You will do one of these four things when you come upon a grieving experience. You will do one of the four. You will do all of the four. You will go in and out of the four all throughout the day. You will go in and out of the four all throughout the week, and you will go in and out of the four all through the rest of your life. There's not a chance that you're not doing at least one of these on your grieving experience. You are not thrown into the pain and told to figure it out. You know me. You come to the grief school. The grief school is the place where I walk you through. I walk you through in a program called Processing the Pain of Grief. I'm walking you through. I'm explaining the grief to you step by step so that you understand what these four things are. You understand how these four things are showing up in your grief life. This is not about reliving the loss. It's about releasing what your heart has been carrying. It's about learning how to carry this thing that seems unbearable. If today something hit you, this is not an accident. This is grief. This is the beginning place of grief. This is where we start. Processing the pain of grief doesn't matter if your loss was 6 months ago or 6 years ago. It is the best first place to start. Grief needs a place to land. Processing the pain of grief is a membership that you can find in the grief school. It's $98 a month. It's 2 times a week. The first one's recorded. You don't have to attend that one. The second one is on Thursday at 3 o'clock Central Standard Time. The first one is on Tuesday at 1 o'clock. It's where I teach the lecture. Then we come to the classroom on Thursday and we talk it out. You don't need more strength. You got enough. You don't need time to wait for time to magically fix this thing. You don't need that. You need a place to process this. Where are you going to process it? Where are you going to put the grief so you can absolutely go after it? When grief finally gets what it needs, it stops taking over everything in your life. When you can give the grief a little bit of what it needs, it stops taking everything over. This week, your only job is to notice. Notice what areas you're trying to fix your grief. Notice what areas you're forcing the grief to do something. Just listen. Listen to what's going on in your heart. Listen to what's going on in your gut. Just listen. Just pay attention. What is grief asking of you right now? What is your grief asking of you right now? Most people don't understand. They don't understand what the grief is asking of them, and so they do the thing that they think is what it's supposed to do. Grief is asking for you to pay attention. It is asking for you to give it time, for you to tell your truth so that your body can feel safe to process. And until those things happen, all of those 4 things, you will continue to resist and push back against the grief. I promise you that. All right, friends, I'm glad you joined me. Next Monday. Hey, Mary, I didn't realize you were there. Hey, yes, she said, happy Monday. Next Monday, we're going to do part 2. I'm going to break down attention, time, truth, and safety. So we're doing this series, What is Grief Asking You, for the next 4 weeks of January. That's what we're starting with. What is grief asking of you? I will see you next Monday right here, YouTube live at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. Hey, Mary, so glad you joined. I'll see you at the next live. Bye.